Jacob, 35, an electrician. My day starts in the pitch black of 4:30 a.m. The alarm's redundant. A heavy, gut-deep anxiety hits me harder than any buzzer ever could. In this rented apartment in suburban Ohio, while my ex-wife Emily and our 2 kids are still lost in sleep, I'm wide awake, staring into the void. I lie there, listening to the only clear sound in the room, my own heavy, exhausted heartbeat. It's grilling me. How many emergency repair jobs do I need to scrape together next month's $1,800 rent? How many side gigs to make sure my 9-year-old son Noah's hockey gear gets updated on time, or that my 5-year-old daughter Chloe's ballet classes don't get cut? This house, rented under Emily's name, has nothing to do with me legally, a pathetic form of self-preservation. It's my shelter, but also a prison I built myself, fenced in by the warmth of family. Looking back feels like watching someone else's documentary, a raw, unfiltered one about ruin and collapse. From 2019 to 2022, I wasn't Jacob. I was a code, a number flickering across countless gambling sites. A puppet jerked around by odds and algorithms, my soul hollowed out, left with nothing but the instinct to chase the next bet. How much did I lose? The exact figures blurred in the haze of sleepless, regret-soaked nights. It's not a number anymore. It's a series of gut-punch images. My beloved Dodge Ram pickup, practically a second home where I took Noah on his first camping trip, sold off one dreary afternoon to a smug used car dealer for a humiliating price. The thin stack of cash didn't last 6 hours before it vanished on a blackjack table. Our old house, with its blue shutters and big backyard, where Emily and I built a swing for Chloe, every inch of that lawn soaked in our sweat and laughter, it turned into a cold, bank-stamped foreclosure notice. I quit. I really did. April 2022, after an afternoon that shattered every shred of my dignity. Over 1,000 days clean, no gambling sites, no betting apps. But quitting isn't redemption. It's more like a life sentence. I'm carrying $120,000 in debt, an invisible demon clinging to my back. And I haven't paid back a single cent. Emily and I signed the divorce papers in the fall of 2021. The sky was gray, just like my mood. No fights, no real talk. We just sat side by side at a cold mahogany table in the lawyer's office, signing our names like robots. The divorce wasn't about love dying, it was the opposite. It was the last thing I could do for her in that pit of despair. My credit's a worthless wreck, blacklisted by every financial system. I couldn't let the people I'd deceived, the ones closest to me, freeze Emily's accounts through legal action and mess up the kids' lives. So we cut the legal ties with a piece of paper, shielding her and the kids from my debt storm. But our lives? They're more tangled than ever. She's the mother of my kids, the pillar of this shaky home, and the reason I drag myself out of bed every day. Our household's exactly 6 people. Me, Emily, Noah, Chloe, and my parents, Samuel and Helen. They should be living out their retirement in their old porch-front house in the countryside. Dad tinkering with his beloved tools, Mom tending her garden. But because of me, their deadbeat son, they sold that house and moved into this cramped 3-bedroom apartment with us. They're the kids' full-time babysitters and silent witnesses to my failed life. Me, Jacob, a man who's supposed to stand tall, leaning on my elderly parents to pay for my mistakes. Of all the unforgivable things I've done, the worst, the one that cuts deepest, isn't losing everything. It's how I shamelessly exploited Emily's love and trust. At the peak of my gambling addiction, I'd blown through our savings and racked up a mountain of debt. I was a crazed animal, obsessed with winning it back. So I spun her a hopeful lie. I told her I'd stumbled on a once-in-a-lifetime chance to partner with some veteran electricians on a big commercial wiring project, just needing startup cash. I painted a future where we'd have our own company, a bigger house, the best private schools for the kids. She looked at me, her eyes lit with a spark I hadn't seen in years. Hope for me, for our future. Then she pulled together our IDs and income records and took out a $40,000 high-interest online loan. The moment that money hit, I swore I'd use it to build a new life. That vow lasted less than a week. I threw every cent of her hope into the bottomless pit of numbers and code. That $40,000 became a poisoned barb lodged in the ruins of our relationship. It's a living monster, gobbling up insane interest, ballooning out of control. It's a constant reminder to Emily of how absurd and tragic her trust in me was. Now I'm like a wind-up donkey, working myself to death. Municipal utility jobs, wiring smart homes in ritzy neighborhoods. If it pays, I don't say no, no matter how grueling. I crawl through tight attics and damp basements, my hands scarred and calloused. A good month, I clear $7 or $8 grand after taxes. I don't dare entertain a single stray thought. I keep $200 for the cheapest cigarettes, squeeze out $400 for gas in the beat-up Chevy my brother-in-law, Ryan, handed down. Every other cent, I hand over to Emily like a guilty kid, letting her keep this fragile family afloat. Even so, we're walking a tightrope, every step shaky. Noah and Chloe are growing, their appetites as boundless as their curiosity. Noah's killing it on his school's hockey team. He needs proper nutrition supplements. Chloe's got a stunning talent for painting. She needs a steady supply of paints and paper. I can live on dollar store ramen and energy bars for a week, but I can't stand a flicker of disappointment in their eyes. They're the only light in this grim family. I won't let my shadow dim their sun. Let me break it down, so you see how real this desperation is. Between Emily and me, best case scenario, we pull in $11,000 a month. Rent, utilities, internet, non-negotiable, $200. My smokes and gas, $600. Feeding 6 people, weekly runs to Costco and ALDI, $2,000 is scraping by. Snacks, clothes, the kids' classes, and the school's constant donations for activities, at least $1,000 a month. Do the math. What's left? That's got to cover any emergency. My parents' medical bills, car breakdowns, the kids' surprise dentist visits. Everyone's a potential bomb. And that loan Emily took out for me? It's ballooned to nearly $60,000 with interest. My credit's shot. I can't let her go down with me. Her family, my in-laws, are struggling too. My father-in-law's leg nerves got wrecked in a work accident. He can't do physical labor anymore. My mother-in-law's got severe rheumatoid arthritis, in pain every time the weather shifts. So my brother-in-law Ryan, a decent, hard-working truck driver, is carrying 2 families on his back. He's the only relative besides my parents who still talks to me like I'm human. Not only did he give me his old car, he genuinely loves Noah and Chloe. Every time he comes back from a long-haul trip, bone-tired, he brings gifts for the kids. New trading cards for Noah, a princess doll for Chloe. He never brings up the debt, but his kindness just makes my guilt churn harder. The kids light up at Uncle Ryan, their smiles pure and unguarded. Those smiles should be my job to protect. When Ryan drives off in his rig, I sit in that old Chevy, smoking until the fumes choke tears out of me. The worst pain in life is wanting to atone, but knowing you've lost the ability, or the right. This 6-person household is a massive, all-consuming energy field, draining every ounce of my time, strength, and money. I'm nailed here, powerless to face the people I dragged into this mess. My cousin Matthew, I owe him $15,000. I can still picture that afternoon 3 years ago. Him in his shiny new Audi Q5, successful, radiating confidence. He treated me to lunch at a fancy restaurant, listening patiently to my fabricated pitch about investing in electrical engineering. I sold it so hard I almost believed it myself. He didn't pry too much, just paused, then said, "Jacob, we're brothers. You're asking, so I'll help. But use it right." He transferred the money right there. Now his right paths hit a dead end. The recession tanked his small construction company. It went bankrupt. His wife left him. He's drowning in lawsuits from suppliers and banks. His Facebook messages stab like knives, slicing through my already numb nerves. From "Hey brother, how's it going? You turning things around?" to "Jacob, I need that money. It's my last lifeline," to now, "You shameless liar. You ruined my life. I was blind to trust you," followed by a string of vile curses. I read every word, my heart gripped by an invisible fist, but I can't reply. What's there to say? Sorry? That word's laughably hollow against $15,000, almost an insult. Then there's my cousin David. I owe him $8,000. His life's already a stretched to the limit rubber band. 2 young kids, a crushing mortgage, car loans, and a wife who spends without a second thought. That $8,000 pushed their marriage to the brink. Last week, I finally answered his call. No yelling this time, just a gut-wrenching, exhausted plea. "Jacob, I'm begging you, even $500, $100, anything to give me some hope to show my wife. She thinks I'm in on it with you, that I gave you our money to burn. Jacob, I can't hold on much longer." I held the phone, throat clogged, unable to speak. I just listened to his stifled sobs until he hung up. In that moment, I wished I could just drop dead. Choosing to dodge comes at a cost. On the surface, we're still a normal family living together. In reality, we're like fugitives. I can't go back to my hometown in Pennsylvania. I can't face the looks from the elders who watched me grow up, or Matthew and David's parents. I can't remarry Emily. It'd drag her onto my debt's pillory. I deleted all my social media, scared to leave any trace of our life, terrified creditors will track us down. This isolated, shadow-dwelling existence is a bloodless, daily torture. My parents, Samuel and Helen, are my deepest, untouchable wound. They should be in their old house, enjoying a peaceful retirement. Dad fishing by the lake, Mom at her book club. Instead, they're stuck here, living under someone else's roof. Dad, a proud man his whole life, now shuttles grandkids and fixes broken appliances. Mom handles all the cooking and chores. I've heard them countless nights, lingering outside my door, letting out a long sigh. Recently, Dad's heart condition flared up. The doctor said no more overexertion, no stress. Watching him in that hospital bed, aged a decade overnight, my regret and self-loathing nearly swallowed me whole. Because of my gambling, Our family's cut off from all our relatives. They think my parents are covering for me, enabling a deadbeat. Last Thanksgiving, it was just the 6 of us at the table, the silence deafening. I'm not some born villain. I want to pay my debts, to be an honest, dignified man again. In my dreams, I go back and close the gambling sites, delete the apps. I wake up light, only to crash into the same brutal reality. The problem isn't whether I want to take responsibility, it's that I can't. My hands are tied by my family, by my duty to my kids. Do I still think about gambling? No, I hate it. Hate what it's made me. But sometimes, late at night, when utility bills and bank warnings pile up, when Emily skips buying a new dress to save money, that devil's voice slithers back. Jacob, just one last bet. Maybe the next one's the one that fixes everything. When it hits, I bolt outside, running in the freezing air until my lungs burn. Then I creep back to the kids' room, watching Noah and Chloe's peaceful faces in the faint moonlight. They're so pure, so fragile. They're the only light I can still hold on to in this endless dark. Emily, my ex-wife, I owe her a whole life that should have been happy. She rarely talks about the future anymore, never plans with me about tackling the debt. Her silence is a thick sheet of ice between us. Deep down, I'm the family's sinner. I can let the world down, but I can't sacrifice her and the kids present again. So she lets me keep this family first, debts later survival mode. But all we have left is this heavy, unspoken agreement. We're roommates, co-parents, financial partners, but no longer the lovers who shared every secret and dream. Between us lies a cold, raging ocean of lies, disappointment, and that $120,000 debt. I know everyone blaming me is right. Matthew, David, they're just trying to reclaim what's theirs, to save their crumbling lives. Their families are right. Emily's right. My parents, my kids, they're beyond fault. From start to finish, I'm the only guilty one. But all I have is this body, worn to the bone by work and life, and a heart riddled with holes. How can I hold up my family and fill the massive void I owe the world? I know my sins better than anyone, and I'm not set on being a despised deadbeat. But someone please tell me what to do. How do I choose between not breaking my kids' hopeful gazes and not betraying the people who trusted me like family? This thorny, endless road I paved myself, how much longer do I have to walk it?